just real quickly, if it seems like I'm rambling, I'm still 75% sleeping. I don't know if anyone's seen, one of my favorite shows is The Simpsons. There's an episode where Apu has to pedal on. God, I think I got his name right. He works in the cookie mart for 98 hours, and at the end of the 98 hours, he thinks he's a hummingbird. I haven't gotten there yet, but I did have a wicked crazy dream that someone canceled a film festival, and I went ballistic and gave that person a pile driver. As well as if I seem like I'm rambling or I ask a crazy question during the Q&A, like why is it that every hotel has all their towels and bath sheets or bed sheets smelling like a newborn baby in every hospital in the world? And just ignore the crazy executive director because he's crazy. Anyways, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Christian Cisneros, director of HOMBRE Y TIERRA.
How's it going? Thank you all for coming out. I want to thank Glenn and the festival for having us out. Basically, it's a found footage film. It's about a Colombian TV show host who goes to police to film his television show and never returns. So this is basically the footage that happened those 3 days that he was missing. It's a basic, if you mix Blair Witch Project with Survivor Man from Discovery Channel, that's basically what this film is like. So take that in mind when you're judging it. But without further ado, we'll start the film. And I will be doing a Q&A after this, and if we go a little longer and y'all have more questions, I'm going to be outside. I have a few DVDs if anybody wants to purchase any. Thank y'all for staying here. So do we have any questions or anything?
Where's your actual shooting location?
We shot in a couple of towns out south of Austin, Texas.
Texas?
Yeah, in Texas. Yeah. We shot in a small town called Lynn Springs, and we found a property that Texas is really known to have a lot of mesquite, and so if you see mesquite, you kind of, you know that that's not police. So we found this property that we had to drive like probably an hour from the ranch house to the actual location by 4x4s. And there was just a really lush green, hills and just these great caves, and everything just didn't seem to look like Texas. So that's where we kind of felt that we could pull off police. And a lot of the projection was a little dark, so a lot of like the scene where he's walking down the hill and talking when the microphone goes out or doesn't get turned on, it's really like a green, vibrant green without any color correction. They're just really, really lush looking, and so that's kind of how we felt that we could pull off police and shooting in Texas.
I was just curious how much of your script was written to the location and the opportunities you had for filming, and how much did you scout around looking for the places to shoot the script?
We originally, the idea behind this movie was that me and one of my business partners, who was also my writer, we wanted to come up with a story that we could shoot with the least amount of money, the least amount of crew, and the least amount of cast. And we had known Maurice Ripke from he'd done some of our first movies. He's like a recurring actor in Prison Break. He's in Breaking Bad. He's a really big rising star right now. He's going to be in a bunch of movies coming to theaters and stuff. So we wanted to write a story around him, and he's bilingual, and so we kind of came up with the idea of the story, like what if Survivor Man went out and never came back, and what would you do if you found the footage? And so we wrote this kind of like 30-page kind of outline, basically just dialogue. And so then we went and scouted locations, and a lot of it was changed in finding the location. We kind of wrote around what we had to work with, and then also when he translated, we wrote it in English, and Maurice, the actor, translated there with him, there wouldn't be like a soundtrack to your adventure. But we wanted to have like certain points, the audience to kind of have this eerie feeling. So we took our sound designer went in and put a lot of low-end bass and higher frequencies to kind of give you that kind of uneasiness, like uncomfortable. And it was just like a cross between all of those that gave that kind of drone track, which we felt it kind of worked in some way. So that's kind of what we wanted to do. It's kind of the replacement for music, to give you that kind of eerie feeling whenever the monster kind of showed up, or if you kind of wanted to get that feeling like, oh, something doesn't feel right about this, or, you know, he's going the wrong direction, he's getting lost, or he's doing something that he shouldn't. Yes, yes. For actual cost of production was $1,700. I work in the film industry, so I have a bunch of friends, union grips, sound designers, location sound people, and so I've worked for free on a lot of their projects. And you know, we're all in the Austin area, have a big film community where we kind of help each other out, and so I was able to get a lot of like union. My production sound mixer, my production designer, everybody have worked on like Robert Rodriguez movies and stuff like that. So they came out and worked for free. So if I were to actually pay them, it would have been a lot more. But we basically paid for food, and we paid for a costume that you don't even see, because it's kind of like a Jaws story. Like we bought this costume and with all intentions of showing the monster more. And when I saw it after the costumer brought it back, I was like, we can't put that on screen. So we had to kind of come up with ways to give the scare factors, but without really showing this horrendous costume that everybody would probably make it into a comedy.
What was the backstory, the cultural story of him and his grandmother, and the story of the caves and all that?
Well, the character that we came up with is he's a Colombian journalist, and he became this web series TV host to do survival tactics. And with the Colombian culture and Latin cultures all over, they're really superstitious. And so growing up, he's really close to his grandmother, and she tells him stories about her travel. She was like a traveler, and she told him stories about these Mayan caves and like these myths of why this Mayan culture disappeared, and nobody's ever really figured it out. So it's like one of those stories that stuck with him, that this is when I become this great adventurer, I want to solve these stories. And so we have a graphic novel coming out probably in the next year that's going to go deeper into that, into the Mayan culture, like following the Montequí, as they worship this, what they think is a god, that they give sacrifices to it so that it doesn't kill its people. And for some reason, it just decides to take out the entire village and the tribe. And so it gives you a little bit more backstory on the monster. But I mean, it's just one of those other things, another outlet to kind of give you a little bit more info on that, because it is kind of vague and unique. But I wanted to leave it up to the audience to figure out what it is. I mean, we have a notion of what it is, but it really leaves it up to y'all, like what y'all take from it, and if it, as filmmakers, if it inspires you, or if it just makes you scared to go into the forest, then I think we've succeeded.
Especially since he can pick out, little things from his backpack.
Oh yeah.
Important things.
Yeah. Well, it's. I don't know. Does anybody have guesses or know what it is? The monster. It's actually a Bigfoot. So because in the cave, when he actually he smells it and you hear the monster roar, he turns and the monster comes over a rock, and you kind of, we give it a silhouette, and it's got a gorilla look, and So we kind of wanted to kind of give that hint, because when we first started watching, when we first cut the movie, it was like 3 hours long. And so there was like a lot of exposition. In the first half of the movie, I was all like, well, everybody's going to think it's like people from the tribe or ghosts from the tribe. We wanted to kind of make it a little bit more organic and a lot more monster sounds and stuff like that to kind of give it that. But the original idea that